Good evening, everyone. On behalf of MTT, I, Radhika, welcome you all. Our mission is to make quality education available easily and affordable to all. Today, our speaker is Swati Bhutra, ma'am. She is an educator with one of the reputed international board school in Surat. She has been she has been teaching since a decade and has been actively involved in providing training on life skills to teachers and students. She strongly believes that we all are lifelong learners and happy to learn contributed further. Our topic is how to teach maths interactively. And I guess it's a wonderful topic because of this COVID 19. I guess teaching maths online and interactively is the biggest challenge for us, for everyone. Thanks, Swati ma'am, for finding time and addressing our participants on such a wonderful topic. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Radhika, and good evening, everyone. Without wasting much time, let's start. Good evening, everyone, and today's topic is how we can teach math in online mode. Math is one of the toughest subject to teach online, especially when we require a lot of board work, equations are there. Many of the concepts are there which we feel that, if the students were there in front of us, we could have taught them easily rather than they are sitting far away from us and then explaining on online. But the good part is when the online platform has its drawbacks or throws challenges to us, there are plethora of information and websites available which help math educators to overcome these challenges and make our classes more interactive. So today I'm going to take all of you through a list of few tools which we can use in our math class, which I am using in my math class to make it really interactive. And without wasting time, let's start. In the agenda, I would be covering tools such as Oboard, Google Docs, GeoGebra, Desmos, CK12, Kahoot, Quizzes, all these um, tools I'll be talking about. There is a possibility you would have already heard about few of the tools or you are using, so that's great. And let's just look at the overview of how these tools enhances our understanding and our interactivity of the classes. So before moving ahead, can you choose which one is the correct option? 2024. So yeah, I can see options ranging from A, C, B, and all these. A and B, A. Majority of you are saying A. Or wow, great. Is this confusing? Is the question confusing? Yes, the question is confusing, and this is how sometimes our online teaching looks to students. What we are trying to communicate, they are totally getting a different picture altogether, right? So, although mathematically speaking, the correct option over here is A 2024, but we do have valid justification for other options also to be correct. So rather than going into the nitty gritty of that, let's move ahead and let's see how we can overcome these problems and start using something which will help us. So the very first tool I am going to discuss about is Oboard. Oboard is basically an online whiteboard which gives access to the educator and the students so that we can write on this board, share it when we are teaching online. Plus we can use the geometrical shapes also. So I'll just show you how does it looks like. This is the website, or you can type in the Google also. You will come to know Oboard. This is a board where we can use multiple functionalities. And let me tell you, we have just finished a circle theorem in grade 9 using this board itself. Whenever we want to use a particular shapes, limited functionalities are there, but definitely we can use them. So in circle theorems, we were using circles. I wanted to draw its a chord or tangent, so we were using lines. You can use different colors of line over here. You can see And if you want to increase the font of that line, we can take it from here. Okay. And I have taken a green color line and I'm making a secant to this circle. I want to draw another tangent, let's say of color purple. We can use that. I want to name these points. I can use a text box. Click over here and start typing whatever names I want to give. I want to give the name to the secant also and the code segment BC. If I am having a length something like say 5 centimeters, I can write 5, or centimeter also you want to include, you can write. We want to solve few questions. So let's say 2x minus 3y equals to 11. That is going to be my equation 1. So if a question of simultaneous equation is there, how we can solve it using the same board that's I'm showing right now. 5x plus 7y equals to 23. This is my second equation. I want to solve them simultaneously. I can draw lines, and all these options are available. So basic options are available over here, where it gives us the opportunity to at least select the shapes of rectangle and circles, making the lines or highlighting them. So there are highlighters also. This marker pen is used, which we can use to highlight. We can change color, and we can take a screenshot and share it with the students also. So like OBOD, there are multiple boards available. Multiple online boards are available. Again, few of them are easy to use. Yes. So the way you you are able to see my screen, I have shared my screen. That way, you can share it with the students. You want students, whether students can draw with us. Students can draw with you. For that, you have to take a functionality over here. Just a minute. For that, you can create a free account, and you can share the version of that with the students. So generally, when we want some students' work, what we ask the students is, do the work at your device, take a screenshot, and then share with the teacher. So when we are doing something, we can share it simultaneously. When we want students to do something on this, they will be doing on their device, and then they are sharing the screenshots with us. No, there are free functionalities, Madhuri ma'am. Free functionalities are available for all of them. First 15 days, even after 15 days, this version I'm using since last 3 months. And I'm using with no problem. So there are some premium functionalities. We won't be able to access those premium functionalities after 15 days. But the basic functionalities will be very much available with all of us. Okay. So we discussed about OBOD, and OBODs are basically provides the online board. Just like OBOD, there are other online boards are also available. You can just search on Google and find it out. Personally, I feel OBOD easy because I am using other tools also along with OBOD, which I would be showing you. I am using the cursor of my laptop. I'm not even using a mouse. Manjusha ma'am, yes, you can take a screenshot and then you can directly paste it in the Word documents. Yes, symbols I'm coming to. For symbols, I'm using an equation editor. So symbols, I'm coming to how we can use symbols and all. I'm not using a pen tablet. I'm using a cursor of my mouse. That's it. Okay. So let's move ahead, and the very much awaited, once we are done with the drawing, the second thing is typing formulas or equations, powers, and using various variables and all these things. So for that, writing formulas and equation on paper is definitely easy, but when we are talking about online mode, the best way is to use some equation editors. there are various equation editors are available. One I would be telling you right now is this, math.typeit.org. You can see over here there are various symbols available. These are mathematical symbols, and this is the writing area where we would be framing our equations or formulas. So let's say I want to make a quadratic equation, 2x square. So for a square, I'll be clicking on this and automatically a square will come. Plus 11y, sorry, it is quadratic, yeah, 11x minus 13 is equals to y. This is a quadratic function I have written. I want to use a cube root symbol, I can use that as well. So if I want to write cube root of r is equals to 5, I can write like that. I can use other symbols also. The only limitation of using this is if I'm having power more than 3. So like if I'm having x to the power 4 or something, it does not allow me to use that. So what I do is I am freely using Google Docs functionality. So if you people are having a Gmail account, so Gmail provides Google Documents, Google presentations, and all are so much aligned with the Microsoft Word, Microsoft PPT and all. I'll just open a Google document with you and will show you how equations can be written in a Google document. I'm sure there will be some functionality available in Microsoft Word also, but I haven't used that. I am using Google document and I will be telling you how we will be using that. Okay, so you can see this is, I hope my screen is visible. So you can see I have created a document over here. I want to insert some symbols. So in the Google document, when I go to insert an equation, this is the functionality which activates the equation editor inside a Google document. I'll tell you again, go to insert and go into equation. It activates the equation editor inside that. Let me increase the font so that it would be more visible to all of you. And the font inside this should be 20. This would be more clear now. Okay, now whatever I want to type, I'll just take you through these. These are the various symbols, Greek letters basically available within the inside equation editor. Then the math symbols, plus minus symbols, multiplications and other symbols, sigma, delta, everything is available. Equalities and inequalities sign, set symbols, and over here we can see in fractions, in square root, in nth root, in the power form, these various functionalities are available. There are arrows also if we want to use that. So let me take this. I am writing x divided by y square. Okay, so how I'll be writing y square is, I'll be writing y. I'm writing y, and if I want to put a square symbol, I'll be directly going over here, and my forward arrow will take me to the power of it. So whatever power I want to apply, whether it is just a square or 22 also, whatever I want to apply, I can apply here. I want to go out, I will be always using my forward arrow, right arrow key in this case, and I'll be writing equals to, that is equals to, let's say, the sixth root of x. Okay, these are just arbitrary numbers I am taking to explain the various functionalities Google Docs equation editor gives us. Let me check the questions if you are having any doubts. So along with the O board, so whenever I need to draw something and explain to students, I'll be using O board. But when I need to type something in equation, I'll be using Google Documents equation editor and typing it over here. So we have talked about two equation editors over here. The one was type.method and second is Google Docs equation editor. Both will help us to type the equations. So once we are sorted with the basic math teaching, okay, let's see how we can increase the interactiveness in our classes. And for that, I'm sharing the first tool, which is known as GeoGebra. GeoGebra and Desmos, they both are very rich websites in terms of content of mathematics. Okay, so there are lots of simulations available, lots of questions are available which we can directly use. I'll just tell you what is GeoGebra. So when we are not in the class, it is imperative to use simulations. Simulations is basically it will be doing the work for us. Okay, so that it will help us, our students, to visualize. So talking about circle theorem, let me just show you how it works. I hope you can see this, right? This is showing the circle theorem, which says angles made by one arc in the opposite segments are equal to each other. Now these are draggable points. Wherever in the segment I'll be taking, no matter where the position is, both the angles will be of same measurement. If I want to check with another arc, I may reduce the arc length and still both the angles are same. I may increase the arc length, still both the angles are same. So these are the simulations. We introduce the circle theorems to students, and using these simulations, we increase their visualization power. That yes, it is happening actually. It's not just that I have said this is a theorem, so they have to agree. They can themselves watch it, they can just play with it. Along with that, so you know, I'll just take you to the GeoGebra main page. Yes, this is the GeoGebra main page. You can make a sign in over here. There are lots of classroom resources available over here. So calculators, suits are there, graphing calculator, scientific calculator. And apart from that, there are few classroom activities also which you can use. If you don't even want to make a login, that's okay. Let's say I want to find circle theorem. So in the search box, I typed the circle theorem and entered. Whatever resources of circle theorems are available in GeoGebra, it will come in the search. You can see over here, there are various activities. There will be few questions also sometimes. So let's say this is an activity, facts and theorem. You click on that. This is showing another circle theorem, that angle at the center is double of angle at the circumference. You can change the arc and still it will be same. You can change the position of the circumference angle, still wherever it will be always half of the center angle. And that is true for any arc length. So this is how the simulations in GeoGebra work. Circle theorem is just one example. Like that, you would have seen in the search result, it came for Pythagoras theorem. Other theorems also, all explained beautifully over there. Provide the visualization and all. After GeoGebra, we have another website, very rich in its content, is known as Desmos. So whether we want to make graphs online, solve few questions, just create an account with Desmos, teacher resource, and you are all sorted. So let me show you Desmos functionalities also. I've already created an account and it is asking me to sign in. Okay, here is how teacher Desmos looks like. Okay, and I will show you my history first, the activities I have done with my class. So what happens, we have done this activity, discovering properties of tangents and circles, and these all questions are already made in Desmos. Definitely, you have a functionality to create your own Desmos activities, but you want to take the reference of the already created activities, you can just search in Desmos and you can make a copy and assign it to your student. I will show you how does it work. So it has created a class. We give this class code to our students. Let me just show you what are the kind of questions and how does it look like. So this is how it looks like. You have to either give the link to the student. So this works beautifully if you are, you have explained a particular concept to the question to the students and want to take a reflection or want to take it as a mini test or something like that. Okay. So these were my students. These are my students. There are possibility of anonymizing students also so that they won't be able to compare their answers. These are the questions. So this is the screen a teacher will be looking at, while the student will be looking at particular questions. So you can see, the question is over here, and sometimes they have to draw, sometimes they have to write and provide the answer. This is very interactive. So they will be dragging particular points, making some lines or shading a particular region and all these things. When I would be checking it out on my screen, summary screen, okay, it looks like this. What does that mean? Whether which particular student, whether he or she has solved a question or not, if unattempted, or if it is an open-ended question, it will come a dash. If the question was wrong, a cross mark will come. So once this we give as a task for 15 minutes or 20 minutes to the students, and once they are done, then we can click one question at a time and discuss the answers. These are the answers from my students, various answers. There was a drawing tool also associated, so they have to basically show what is tangent, what is point of tangency, and all. Then I'll move to next question, question 2. We can discuss. All the answers are mentioned over here. There is an option if you want to give comments to particular students, you can do that as well. If a particular answer you feel is really nice, you can take a snapshot. So let's say of this question, this answer was perfect answer. I want to take this as a snapshot. I'll just click on this and a snapshot is captured. So I can share this answer with my students saying that this was an ideal answer, something like that. So all these tests are already available in Desmos. Apart from that, Desmos provides us graphing solutions also. So I'll show you. Desmos calculator is there, so I can draw since everyone is going online. This is a linear graph. I want to draw a quadratic graph. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can find out the points of intersection. Just click on that and it will show you or represent the point of intersection also, the roots of the quadratic equation and everything. It's so simple task for us, and it makes easy also for students to understand how the graph is being formed online. So this is all about GeoGebra and Desmos. Okay, definitely this is this could be overwhelming for you because lots of information I'm passing right now. What you can do one by one, you are supposed to explore all the tools. You can make a note or you can have the presentation later from my trusted tutor, and that will give you more clarity and a choice also you can make whether you want to go with Desmos or you want to go with GeoGebra and all. Let us move ahead. Next, I'm going to talk about is CK12. CK12 is another website very rich in its resources. So it is dedicated to provide enriching experience of education. And I remember one teacher was asking that she is looking primarily for primary students, so probably grade 1 to 5, something like that. So resources of primary classes are also available on this website. You can just note down the website link also, www.ck12.org. This is majorly focused on math and science, yes, but there are other subject contents are also available, like social sciences. Provide content for English, for social sciences, earth sciences, biology, lots of subjects are there. And within maths and science, the best feature of this website is we are providing online textbook which are really interactive. I'll show you what are those. They are providing some functionalities called as Plex. Plex is a short form of play, learn, interact, and explore. There is a typo error over here. It is learn. Play, learn, interact, and explore. I'll show you that as well. Lots of simulations are there. Simulations means if I would be doing it on a paper, how it will look like. The same work is done digitally. And then there are adaptive practices. Adaptive practices are basically set of questions. There will be 10 questions or 15 questions which you can assign to students. Okay, and it is integrated with AI, artificial intelligence. So it will be checking and increasing the difficulty level for students. At a particular question, if a student is taking a lot of time or could not complete that particular question or given it as a wrong answer, then the next set of questions will be based on that particular concept only, so that students are can get the mastery on that particular concept. I'm just logging to CK12. This is again a free website, non-profit organization website is there, and definitely make an account on this. You can see the explore button is there. Okay, so flex books are what? Flex books are basically their online books they are showing. There are various schools available who has created their online books and kept it on the CK12. So we are free to refer that as well. We can create a copy of that textbooks and do the editing for our own, or we want to use the textbook as it is, we can do that. I'll show you what is Flexbooks. Simulations are there, Plex are there. I'll just show you the subjects available first of all. So these are the list of subjects available. Science and math are there for grade 1 to 5 and grade K to 5 also. And the content is really rich. The animations are good. And then math by level 6, 7, 8. And after 8, it is algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, pre-calculus. All these topics are also available. Science topics, social studies topics. It does provide practice questions for SAT also. Okay, let me take first Flexbooks. What are Flexbooks? I'll just show you what is actually a Flexbook. And the Flexbook, here are the Flexbooks by the subjects. So whether you want to look at the math Flexbook or science Flexbook. Right now, social sciences few topics are available, but majority you will be finding math and science topic over here. Let's say I want to look at interactive algebra 1. I'll be going over there. Okay, it is published. You can choose whether you want to assign it to your student. Again, this is also integrated with Google Classroom, so you can just create a class here and connect it with your Google Classroom. You can see what all topics are there in this. Number types, polynomial structure, exponential expression. Let me go with exponential expression. And let me start with this. Okay, so there are some activities they are giving, the solution of those activities is explained with few solved example. There are few questions also which we want the students to try. This is an interactive, so in between we can just take it and we can ask the students, you give me the answers of that. Okay, the options and everything is given. Another activity and all these things. Then these are the practice questions. Work it out are practice question. At the end of the lesson, few practice questions are there. So lots of content like that. So this is just one example I have taken. Lots of content is available. This is about the Flexbook. Okay, now I'm talking about the Plex available. So I will be going to CK12 again. In the exploration, if I click on Plex, Plex is play, learn, interact, and explore. Interactivity is one thing which is very much evident in all the learning areas of our today's students. We take a difficult one. Simple concepts are also there, adding whole numbers, and all these are for primary students. Okay, you can definitely search also if you are not sure whether you are getting the correct answer or not. You can definitely search. Say I'm taking this. Okay, so here is a situation given. People in US use Fahrenheit to measure temperature while people in other countries use Celsius. The conversion between Celsius and Fahrenheit is this. Drag the blue point on the thermometer to change the temperature in Fahrenheit in the conversion formula. So students can actually change and can see what the changes happening over here. And then they have to figure out what the value of C. Now, based on that, challenge me questions are there. Okay, so what is 20 degree Fahrenheit in Celsius? So I would like to keep my drag point at 20. You can see in the formula automatically 20 came, and we will ask the students to calculate this and check it out which one is the correct answer. Let's say this is answers are options are here. Let's say I have checked it, selected this and submitted. If it is wrong answer, it will show like this and it will give me the correct answer also. If there are particular explanation required, there are sometimes explanations also come over here. So this is how Plex works. There are around 200 or 300 Plex available with CK12. So you can just search whatever topic you are searching for and find out whether a particular Plex is available or not. Other than that, I'll just take you through the adaptive practices in CK12. And whenever you click on the CK12 logo, it will take you to the home page of CK12. Here you can see adaptive practices. If I click on that, it asks me adaptive practices of which subject area you are talking. There are adaptive practices from grade 1 to grade 5 also. You can take with your students, primary year students as well. Let me say I want to go for algebra. Okay, algebra, linear equations I want to take. So within linear equations, all these adaptive practices are basically, they are integrated with artificial intelligence software of CK12. So it will be giving questions. You can assign those questions. You can assign to the class or you can download as a worksheet. I will say to assign to the class because you know how the student is performing. Based on that, questions keep changing and they can start practicing. It records the time, and if you have created a class, it will give you a report also. You can check out the report student wise, who all have performed and what was their performance. So write a simple equation for a number and 18 is 47. They will check it whether it's correct, not correct. Next, it goes like that. The moment there is an incorrect option, then it will give the value also that that wasn't right. Let's get it another try. If you need a hint how to solve this question, they will give a hint also. So this is how these are the few of the functionalities of CK12. It's very vast. All the app I have included in my presentation are free to use. And check out more functionalities, more websites here, which are available. The CK12 is really rich. After that, I'm going to talk about interactive math. That is another, exciting website where we can design games for our students. So, I have just created a game to play with my students so that they will understand how does quadratic sequences work. Okay, so I would be showing you how does it work. This is the link of the interactive math website. It's interactive-maths.com. Which so lots of games you can make on your own. There are games available which you can already made, which also we can use. So totally depends on you how you want to take. So this is a bingo, basically Housey. If you remember, we do play Housey. We have played Housey a lot during this lockdown time. The same way we will be playing Housey with our students. So you can select which kind of questions, which kind of sequence type I want. Will the question type just general sequence? I wanted to have next to two terms questions also. And start. Okay. So these are the 12 by 12, 12 options, 16 options I have got. I will be asking my students to create a 3x3 grid. So any 9 values they need to copy in their grid, and then we will be start playing. So we will start with the question. This is the question. What is the question? And they have to figure out the value. Find the first 5 terms of this sequence. Okay, so first 5 terms they will be keeping the value of n as 1, and then find out the value n as 2, then find out the value 3, then find out the value. So it will take 15 to 20 minutes, but this way it keeps the engagement part of our students, because we are in online mode. We don't know whether our students are really listening to us or not. So if I will just simply start explaining them what is quadratic sequence, the definite chances are 50% of my class would be sleeping or just keeping the laptop on, and they will be wandering here and there. So rather than that, when we are playing such games, they are really when they are playing such games, they are really excited and engaged in the class. You can see there are lots of great activities for the classrooms based on numbers. There are various activities, algebra, shapes, statistics, and this you can use with primary grade students as well as secondary or senior secondary students. We love to play games. Our students love to play games. We can have puzzles also, starters, class starters. You remember the starter I was having in my presentation, 2420. Such kind of starters we can keep in middle to bring back the engagement in our class. Okay. So enough of websites and all. Let's move ahead about the assessment. So most of us are really struggling how to take assessments and all. So some informal way of assessments or formal way of assessment tools I'm sharing right now. The very first tool is GoFormative. GoFormative.com is one website. Again, you can create a login, and some free basic functionalities are available which works well with us. Okay, so you can see these are basically our questions we have done, and we assign it to we have linked this to our Google Classroom. We use Google Classroom a lot to assign our homeworks and all, and we integrate also with the different mode. So for grade 9, this is the final term revision worksheet we have created with our student, and this is how, in GoFormative, we have created this paper. So we created the paper in a Google document and then we copy it over here. We can choose what kind of questions answer we want. So whether it should be multiple choice, multiple selection, short answer, show your work, true or false, essay type. Okay, and you can assign it to your classes. You can there is a functionality also to check out whether they can do the edits after their submission or whether you just want to stop the editing after the submission and all. The responses of our students look something like this. I'll just show you. Okay, so if they have not attempted, no response will come. If they have attempted, response can come like this. If you want to give any feedback, you can give feedback like this. So this is one of the assessment tool we can use, goformative.com, with our students. Then there are quizzes and Kahoot also. Probably you would have heard about these two. These two we generally use to include a fun element in our class. So we want to look at the prior learning of our students. We can create quiz in Kahoot or in quizzes also, and they are very engaging. The questions will be displayed on teacher's screen and answer options will be there in students' screen, and then they have to give the answers, and they are really competitive. Okay, mera pehle aana chahiye and all these. So the students really love. Even our grade 10 students also love to play on Kahoot and quizzes. So I'll just show you Kahoot as well. Again, Kahoot and quizzes are like that you can create your quiz in that, or there is already a library available of lots of Kahoots and lots of quizzes in their respective website. So you can just search and copy all the answers in your thing. Okay, I'm going with the basic plan only. Just a minute, it is opening. Okay, so what is new is there. My Kahoots are the Kahoots which I have created. I have created till now 10 Kahoots. This is showing me the list of that. You can see. Okay, it tells you also when you have created and how many people have played it. So I have created this, but no one has played. But apart from that, there are similarity questions. 15 plays happened already. I created it 2 years ago. Quadratic function questions are there. International Pi Day and all these things are there. If you just want to search, you can go to Discover and you can just to put a simple search on the whatever topic you are finding. There are various Kahoot already available. People have made them public and you can copy it. You can use it as it is or you can copy it. Similarly, quizzes also work. Quizzes is also interesting. So quizzes is like Kahoot, all will be playing simultaneously. One single question will be visible and it will be teacher operated. So if I am operating the Kahoot, I have to click on next question and then it will come. While quizzes work on individual student level. So if let's say I have assigned quizzes to all of you. Right now my class is going on. So let's say Gitika ma'am could be on 7th question because she is very fast in solving the question, while Nancy ma'am would be on 5th question. And how fast you are answering, accordingly the points also added. So it is kind of a video game student is playing, and again they are really interested in that. So in this Kahoot and quizzes, there are music also coming. So they keep the spirit alive of learning math in a fun way. So that's it from my side. Learn lots and have fun. Hope all of you do enjoy your math interactively. Yes, there are challenges in teaching math in an online mode, but using various tools which are available online that will definitely enhance our understanding and the interactiveness with our students plus their engagement level. All right.